Hey, it's the Sanderson sisters. All right, looking good. I bet you're looking for the stage.
Always.
Welcome to MsMojo, and in this installment of Versus, we're pitting Hocus Pocus against Hocus Pocus 2.
Thank you, Max, for that marvelous introduction.
The 1993 original is a Halloween classic, and its legacy sequel has been a hit for Disney+. But which put the most enchanting spell on audiences? Let us know which film you prefer in the comments, but keep in mind that there are a few spoilers. We fly to the first round. Round 1. Production values. The original Hocus Pocus engulfs itself in everything Halloween, from witches to full moons to black cats. Director Kenny Ortega delivered a spellbinding mix of early digital effects and practical magic that hold up surprisingly well almost 3 decades later.
You! I haven't lost my touch, sisters. See?
The film was even shortlisted for Best Visual Effects at the Academy Awards. The now defunct Rhythm and Hues Studios provided the CGI for Binks the Cat.
Witches can't set foot here. He talks.
Nowadays, giving a cat realistic mouth movements might not seem like a big deal, but keep in mind that this was 2 years before Rhythm and Hues' Oscar-winning work on Babe. Hocus Pocus was a massive step forward, having a bigger impact on talking animals in cinema than some may realize.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, get the spell book. Come on, move it!
Being 29 years apart, you'd think the production values in Hocus Pocus 2 would see an upgrade in every department.
This is a very sacred space for witches.
Director Anne Fletcher maintains the first film's autumn aesthetic with colorful costumes, spooky sets, and macabre makeup. Where the first film mixed things up with CGI, animatronics, and puppets, the sequel relies more heavily on digital effects. Nowhere is this more apparent than with the green screen backdrops.
Don't make me come over there with this broom.
Being a Disney Plus exclusive produced in 2022, we suppose this is to be expected, but it does suck out some of the magic. For all the green screens though, there's still some room for the wire rigging and practical environments that made the first film stand out.
Hey guys, why are you going so slow? Wretched villagers, useless even when bewitched.
Hocus Pocus was not only a visual embodiment of Halloween, but a notable stepping stone in the effects realm. Visually, the sequel is faithful to the original, but it doesn't push the industry forward. Thus, we grant our first round to the OG.
It's just a bunch of hocus pocus!
Winner, Hocus Pocus. Round 2. Comedy. For a Disney film released in the 90s, Hocus Pocus got away with a fair deal of risque comedy involving Madonna and the V-card.
Are you a virgin?
Yeah.
Really?
Look, I'll get it tattooed on my forehead, okay?
The humor wasn't afraid to go dark either, with jokes about severed body parts, roadkill, and sucking the lives out of little children. Rewatching the film every year as we grew up, there was always a new joke that we suddenly got.
We desire
Children.
Hey, that may take me a couple of tries, but I don't think that'd be a problem.
Looking back as an adult, it's funny to think how much of this went over our heads. No matter how old you are, the performances from Bette Midler, Kathy Najimy, and Sarah Jessica Parker never fail to make us smile. Even when a line isn't masterfully written, their expressions, delivery, and dynamic elevate every moment they're on screen.
Explained it beautifully, Winnie, the way you sort of started out with the adventure part and then you sort of slowly...
Explain what?
For all the jokes Hocus Pocus 2 revisits, it puts a fresh spin on most of them. Instead of just having Mary fly on another vacuum, she takes to the sky on Roombas.
The man said, be careful, they have a mind of their own. He's right. Stop it. Sit.
The joke doesn't end there either, as the Roombas return in a clever callback. Midler, Najimy, and Parker don't miss a beat, but they're not alone. Now that Billy Butcherson's mouth isn't sewn, Doug Jones brings more dialogue to his physical comedy.
On the legs, on the...
He also gets a welcome screen partner in Sam Richardson's Gilbert. We would gladly watch a spin-off about those two. Same goes for the actresses playing the young Sanderson sisters. Jen D'Angelo's screenplay can be surprisingly smart as well. arguably working in some clever commentary on the beauty industry consuming young souls.
Because the soul's already mixed in.
No more luring children to their demise?
No, they're already demised.
Oh, that's a great time hack. Thank you kindly.
While the sequel owes a fair deal to the first film, we think the writing may be a little wittier, and new dynamics are introduced to the equation. That's a point for Hocus Pocus 2.
You are our idols.
Idols? My favorite word. Thou dost worship us.
Winner, Hocus Pocus 2. Round 3, The Kids. Outside of the witches, Hocus Pocus revolves around Omri Katz's Max, Thora Birch's Danny, and Vanessa Shaw's Allison. While the Sandersons are the ones we look forward to seeing the most, the kids help to make the story more relatable.
I get the picture.
What's that?
Oh, it's the black flame candle.
Through Max, the film explores the hardships of moving to a new town and the awkward hurdles of being a teenager. The age difference between him and Danny provides two perspectives, with one being at the ripe trick-or-treating age, and the other wanting to grow out of it.
You just humiliated me in front of half the guys at school. So collect your candy and get out of my life.
Although they feud, there's still a believable sibling bond between them. Allison serves as the trio's middle ground, being closer to Max's age, but still possessing Danny's Halloween spirit.
I'm really into witches.
Really? Me too. We just learned about those sisters in school.
Oh, you mean the Sanderson sisters? I know all about them.
The sequel shifts the focus to Whitney Peake's Becca, Belisa Escobedo's Izzy, and Lilia Buckingham's Cassie, three high school friends. Fascinated by magic, Becca and Izzy grow distant from Cassie, who's fallen in with a cooler crowd. As a result, our trio can feel more like a duo for much of the film.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't exactly feel welcome, because you guys iced me out.
You ditched us.
Becca and Izzy not only play off each other well, but the Sandersons too. However, we wish the film dedicated more time to Cassie, who isn't given much development until the third act.
I feel like I missed a lot.
Yeah, I guess if you consider resurrecting evil witches and then finding out your best friend is a witch and then helping her do a spell to get rid of them as missing out, then yeah, so you missed out.
Nevertheless, the resolution between the three leaves us with a nice message about sisterhood, cleverly paralleling the Sandersons arc. A twist involving Becca also offers potential if Hocus Pocus 3 is in the cards.
Let that walk from Wall Street. Oh my God, yes!
The kids in both films bring a grounded center to the fantasy, but Max, Danny, and Allison feel better defined as individuals and as a group. Winner, Hocus Pocus. Round 4, Heart. On the surface, Hocus Pocus is a silly comedy about witches running amok. Underneath, it's about a brother who fails to save his sister from premature death and spends the next 300 years riddled with guilt, searching for redemption.
Now, I'd failed Emily, but I wouldn't fail again. When Winifred and her sisters returned, I'd be there to stop them.
Wow, that took a deep turn fast. Thackeray Binks is at the movie's heart, guiding our heroes to stop the Sandersons. Binks can't bring his sister Emily back, but he can finally find some closure by saving his new friends.
Thackeray Binks, stout mangy feline, still alive?
And waiting for you!
As Binks mourns his sister, Max learns to be a better brother. This culminates with him making a sacrifice for Danny, but Max thankfully lives to see another day when the sun rises. As Thackeray's soul reunites with Emily's, the story wraps on a satisfying note.
Thackeray Beans, what took thee so long?
I'm sorry, Emily. I had to wait 300 years for a virgin to light a candle.
We always liked the Sandersons, but we didn't expect to ever empathize with them. They suck out children's souls, come on. Yet, Hocus Pocus 2 brings another layer to the relationship that provides the movie's heart.
Stop! No, and not take my sisters! No! Unhand me now!
In a flashback, we see how the town nearly separated the sisters, but magic ensured they'd continue to make mischief together. This comes full circle in the end when Winnie inadvertently turns her sisters to dust.
Please, wilt thou help me?
Wait, you're willing to give up your powers?
My powers are nothing without my sisters!
Enemies thus form an alliance, allowing the Sandersons to reunite in Hell's recording studio. This resolution could have been too sentimental, but like Cruella, the Sandersons come off as surprisingly sympathetic without betraying the fact that they're still villains who delight in stirring trouble. It's like having your children and eating them too.
Soup's on. Shall we? Dinner for 3.
Both films work in their own ways, but we give the sequel extra credit for building upon the central relationship and conjuring heart in unexpected places. That's double toil and trouble for number 2. Winner, Hocus Pocus 2. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Round 5. Music. When you have one of the nuns from Sister Act, the best friend from Footloose, and Mama Rose, you'd better believe that there are going to be some spectacular musical numbers.
You can't stop the things I do. I ain't lying.
Originally, James Horner was going to compose Hocus Pocus, but a scheduling conflict paved the way for John Debney's wicked score. Horner would still contribute to Sarah's theme with lyricist Brock Walsh, turning in an alluring yet haunting siren song that calls out to Salem's little children.
Come, little children, the time's come to play here in my garden.
Of course, the showstopper is I Put a Spell on You, which Screamin' Jay Hawkins originally wrote and recorded in the 50s. With Midler taking center stage, the blues ballad becomes faster, feistier, and more fun. It's an intoxicating number that puts a spell on us every Halloween. The Sandersons don't waste any time upon returning, jumping right into song. They draw inspiration from Elton John and Bernie Taupin, but since this is a PG Disney movie, some of the lyrics are naturally changed.
Now we're on the attack. Yeah, the spell is gonna hit ya 'cause the witches are back.
The witches aren't the only ones back, as Sarah's theme can also be heard. Instead of I Put a Spell on You, the big production number is a rendition of One Way or Another. We might not have associated the punk rock song with Halloween before, but the updated lyrics tie in perfectly with the Sandersons' pursuit of young souls.
We're gonna find ya. We're gonna get ya one way or another. We're gonna grab ya. I'll nab ya. I'll jab ya.
It's another hypnotizing tune that honors the original while standing on its own. We're still not sure how the Sandersons know all these modern songs, however.
I don't know, but I literally can't stop watching them.
Each of these songs have replay value, but the first put a spell on us that hasn't worn off even 29 years later. One Way or Another, Hocus Pocus gets this round for the win with a score of 3-2. Now, to go watch both. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.